oftentimes the believer only has advantage when he's exposed to heaven's instruction. Somebody say instruction. When you are exposed to heaven's instruction. When you are exposed to heaven's direction. A man was going to take the steps of his father because that was the wisdom he's used to. That was how he grew up. He saw his father, or he heard of his father. When there was famine, he would run down to Egypt. And on this particular day, there was this national news on CNN and on BBC that we should all get ready for hard time in 2008, that the economy was going to go bad. Are you with me? And while they were saying that economy was going to go bad, some other people were already taking advantage of that same recession. Was it 2008? Of that same recession. People made money. Men who have sight and insight. I remember growing up in the city of Sokoto. And there was this riot those days when the Sultan died. And they were going to, it was the day of Abacha, I think. And the riot of Bamuso came up. And they said, if all the Christians will not leave Sokoto, they were going to kill all of us. And people started selling their properties in the city. And people were selling their properties for cheap amount. And I don't know where my father and my mother got the wisdom. And they said, instead of us going, die and I die, one day we will die. The way these people are selling their properties anyhow, let us buy these things. And my father sold his car. He sold his car, put money together, and they started buying properties. They were buying off properties from people who were afraid because there is already a warning that if you stay back, we kill all of you. A riot. And God gave my father that wisdom, sold his car, and went to the barracks and brought 3 military men. So my dad bought military guys, and they were staying in our house, and then there was one that was going around with him, and they were buying off property. That was how he came into real estate in Sokoto State. What was the disadvantage for others he got? But before that time, my mom slept one time, and she had a dream. In that dream, they gave her a shovel. They gave her a shovel, and a tipper of sand came to offload sand in front of our house. And she used the shovel to begin to chop out the sand. And she woke up and told my husband, I'm going into property. I've received direction for what the next business I should do. That was how my mom became a real estate person. No architectural training, no structural engineering training. But if she comes to a place, she will look at the place. He said, what's the size of this plot? She will walk around and say, Okyotodoro. That's my name. We will need 300 blocks. And it will be on point. You will not need to add to the blocks. Once she mentions the blocks for the building, you will not need to add. You will rather have some left. That was divine administration that came into her life. And when this woman was going to pass out of this world, she left us with many properties. In fact, my younger ones are now saying thank you. How did she come into that economy? No school, no education. She can't spell the name Margaret. Her name, she cannot spell it. Even the people that gave her Margaret, I don't know where they got the name from, because they can't also spell it. So, I'm just trying to talk about divine supply. You can't come into that economy if you are not open to instructions. You can't come into that flow of grace. You will not be able to enjoy it. Even though God will make all things available, even though God will make all resources available, it will be difficult for you to be able to articulate it and be able to enter into it once the Lord is not giving you the instruction. So when this man prophesied, he just gave the word of the Lord. He was not just zealous for God. The zeal that he possessed to speak about the economy and to speak about the degradation and perversity that was happening and manifesting in that season also implicated him when he appeared. So the Lord said to him, by this word that you've spoken now, I want you to turn away and come to a corner. There is a place where you need to come into. And when you go to that place, when you turn to the eastward, you go to that place, there is a bird. Somebody say a bird. There is a bird that I have commanded to feed you. It's very interesting for us to quickly isolate that bird. He said, so when he went and did according unto the word of the Lord, for he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. And the raven brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening. And he drank of the brook. 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 Which brook? As he was commanded. He was commanded to go to that place. And when he went there, what he met was the brook with water. And what he met at the arrival to the command he received was supply. You see, it's important for you to note that every time the Lord gives direction, supply has ended where you are. Every time. Every time you love a business so much, you cherish that business so much, and God is saying, I am beholding on you the responsibility for transition. The moment you hear it is time to move, supply ends here. Supply is no longer where you are. No matter how beautiful, no matter how greeny or greenish that place is, the moment there is a word of command, there's a word of instruction, that moment supply ends where you are and supply is ahead of you. And so if you don't learn to move with the voice of the Lord, if you don't learn to move with the direction of the Lord, you will live in dry places. This is not because you are disobedient. This is because you lack the ability to pick the frequency of God. You lack the ability to pick the current emphasis of God for your life. Can you raise your right hand and repeat after me? Oh Lord, oh Lord, open me up to your current emphasis for my life and destiny. Can you say that again? 1, 2, go. If you don't understand the current emphasis, you're going to be in trouble. The advantage we have is the Holy Ghost. The advantage that speaks in our life is the grace of God. So God brings you into that moment where you just respond to him. You respond to the inclination of the Spirit within you. And that is why, and this is why you need to master the movement of God within your vessel. Help me tell your neighbor, master the movement of God within your vessel. There is a movement that happens that you know is danger. There is a movement that happens that you know God is indicting a good matter concerning you. You know, it was somebody I was on phone with. I was in Brazil when I had that encounter. And that was what gave birth to this. When I had that encounter in Brazil, I was talking with someone, and all of a sudden a sword passed. And I shouted, Jesus. And then the sword passed again. I said, Jesus. Passed by the third time, I knew God was calling my attention to a message. I knew God wanted to speak to me. I knew that this sword is not for my head. This is a call for me to understand something. And